Hi class, we're going to take a look at example 1, 2, and 3. Now for these three examples, they're all actual samples. So the main idea is if you're actually given a sample, then in that case, we're going to be looking at the position of the IQR. And once again, the IQR is this box right here. And you don't have to calculate the length of it. You're just basically quoting its position. Depending where we actually have the IQR, then we're going to be making a statement of it is likely, skewed to the left, symmetric, or skewed to the right. That is if we have a sample. Now, some of the other problems are going to be populations. So in populations, then we're going to be looking at not technically the IQR, but a measurement of the mean and the median. And then based on those measurements, we're going to be making a statement. And also all your statements are of likely or approximately. And this is because we may not have actually collected all the data. Okay, so let's take a look at example 1. So here's example 1. So they're just providing us the actual whisker plot, and notice that the whisker plot is to scale. And here, if you look at the position of the IQR, in that case, that is this box here, we're gonna see that the IQR is near the minimum values. So in your wording, you're gonna be describing the position of the IQR. You're also using the wording of likely. And then notice that since the IQR is near the minimum values, your distribution is likely skewed to the right. So this is what it means if we were to create a sketch. The sketch is not needed, but this distribution will actually look like this. And then in your sentence, you're reporting the minimum value. And also in this situation, your possible outlier, it's going to be the actual maximum value of 77.8. Make sure that in all your sentences, you have some sort of a structure like this. You're always using likely or approximately. And in this case, it's skewed to the right since the IQR is near the minimum values. Okay, I'll give you guys a minute to copy that. Let's move to example 2. And example 2, I already have the solution. Now, example 2, your actual whisker plot, it's done to scale, but here it looks like it's in the center. Now, for us to conclude that this is bell-shaped, so we're looking at what I'm referring to is this portion here. If your RQR is right in the middle, then you would say that it's likely symmetrical, but it would have to be exactly in the middle. If not, you're measuring. So for problem 2, it looks like it's in the middle, but if you take a quick evaluation of the distances, in this case, this distance happens to be, give me just a second, this distance from here to the maximum value, it's 13.9, and then the distance between the minimum and Q1 happens to be 14.1. So in this case, we can't really say that those are equal. We have the situation that no, your IQR, which is this box, it's closer to the maximum values. So this one is likely that it's skewed to the left. That means that if we were to draw a distribution, this one will look something along these lines. And your only arrow would be to the left. Let me fix it. But it will look something like this. And it's likely to be skewed to the left. You would report the maximum value, and here your possible outlier will be the minimum. That means that if you were to have extreme values, they're going to be on the left, and it just happens to be 155. Okay, once again, your wording is going to be either likely or approximately. We never really make a statement because, well, once is we have a sample, and then second, there may still be collecting data. So if they were to collect data, there's a chance that if they collect larger values, these two do end up being the same. And in that case, we would conclude, Well, in this situation, yes, if they're the same, it will be likely bell shape. Okay, I'll give you guys a minute to copy the wording. But your sentences should say something along these lines of approximately this one skewed to the left and the position of the IQR. Okay, let's take a look at problem 3. In problem 3, what I've done on problem 3 is I added the actual whisker plot to scale. Now, in the instructions, we're told that it's a sample, and in this case, we're not making a statement based on the stem and leaf plot. You have to actually look at the whisker plot to scale. Now, I did 2 whisker plots, one with Excel or Google Docs. I don't remember what software was it. And then one with the calculator. Here's the picture that I'm obtaining. And in this case, if you look at the position of the IQR, it's near the minimum values. Let me see if it's going to let me. Yeah, it's not going to let me right inside of it. Oh, maybe it is. Okay. So if we were going to make a picture, in this case, this one is going to be likely skewed to the left. So whichever picture you look at, it's just the scale that the software is producing. You're going to see that, well, the majority of scores, and you're looking at technically data values, are going to be near the maximum value. So this one's another skew to the left. Once again, you're using the word of likely or approximately. And that's pretty much it for samples. Also, in your sentence, you're reporting the maximum and the minimum value. In this case, your minimum value happens to be a possible outlier. Now, if you actually had a population, then you're not looking at the position of the IQR. In that situation, you would have to evaluate for populations the values of the mean and the median, and then based on these statements, you make a prediction of what the distribution will look like. That's actually it. Let me once again display the last problem.